Welcome to the Western New York Athletics High School Preview Football Show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn. I'm Stu Boyer, along with Francis Beck, Tim Chifa, and Tom Prince. Tim Gardner is our producer, and now we're going to look at the Class A, where we have a lot of teams and a lot of interesting stories from last year that some will carry over into this year, and some just finished last year. So it was quite a season for Class A, and we look forward to another one.
Yeah, we had, I think if I remember right, we had a number 1 seed upset in the first round.
Technically, you remember they had 3 divisions.
They had
last
3
year,
divisions,
right?
but it still stands an 8 seed beat a 1 seed.
Yeah, and it was Clarence, and I sat here in every single show and told everybody, right, that we knew that was going to be what was going to be the case. But it was obviously due to scheduling, what happened in a lot of those cases that were out there, right?
Yeah, they do the divisions by, and we'll get into them in just a second, what the divisions are this year, but they do them by school size. So your A1 divisions has your bigger schools, 1 through whatever big schools. The next biggest are in the second one. We're in the second one, and the smallest we're in the third. There's 2 divisions this year, which Tom will get to in a second. But, yeah, that's why it landed the way it was.
Yeah. No, and I think that was one of the biggest things that we saw really out there. It was wide open. We didn't know who was going to come out of it. Right? We thought it was Jamestown's to go, right? I think we all felt that. Sure. And that's exactly what happened when you got a quarterback, a 4-year starter in there. You expect that that's going to be the team that was going to go ahead and deliver and to be able to produce right there.
Yeah. Who was in serious contention to not only be a finalist, but win the Connolly Cup.
100%. And not only that, quality kid, quality athlete, right? I mean, he's done it over and over again. I mean, you can absolutely see some big things could come from Jamestown.
Yeah, you can count on, one, maybe 2 hands how many Division I quarterbacks have come out of Western New York. And, it was a privilege to watch him for 4 years. He was a special kid. He really was. Big kid, 6'5", and, Jamestown moved up and lost him. So they kind of got hit with the double bang there.
So I think last year, the difference between last year and this year was last year, the key was to get to the playoffs. Because of all the squirrely things, you could lose 1 game and get knocked out and not get your chance to the playoffs, right? So last year it was get to the playoffs, then I can go ahead and make everything work. This year is a little bit different. Now you're really going to have to, come to the cream of the crop because you've got 2 divisions, and you can't hide inside of a division or based upon your schedule out there to get one of those playoff spots.
Yeah, I mean, you had a couple teams last year that really started well and kind of went down, with Sweet Home and
Will East. They had a couple injuries.
Exactly.
Both were injuries. Come on. One lost their quarterback in Will East, and Sweet Home got decimated on the line, right?
Yep. And their running back,
Theodore. And Theodore, right? So, I mean, in a lot of cases, that was injury-driven.
Yep.
But if you remember, what we were talking about, we were actually talking about Game of the Year was Will East Sweet Home at one point.
Yep.
Remember? That was Game of the Year that we were out there talking about. In fact, we even did a
game
day at Sweet Home.
Yep, that was a great game.
Well, injuries are always going to impact any team, unfortunately, and we're going to take a quick break.
We're going to run through the teams real quick.
All right, let's run through the teams, and then we'll take a quick break.
So this is going to be your Class A1 that you now see on the graphic. Lockport, Williamsville North, Clarence, Niagara Wheatfield, McKinley, West Seneca West, Kenmore West. So really what you're looking at is, if you look at that graphic, and Tim, if you mind going back to it one more second, Will North is the new that's come down to the
No, because they made it to the final last year in A.
Correct. I apologize.
They lost to Jamestown at the stadium.
Yeah, they lost to Jamestown at the stadium. I apologize. What I was going to say there, what I love what Will North did, if you remember last year, every one of their games that they played non-conference were double A's. And remember, they were double A's the previous year to that is what it was. So that's how you keep the schedule to make sure that you're going to get to where you're going to go. And look, it got them to the finals. That's exactly what it was. On some strong, running back play. It was really by the running backs, if you think, by Will North. But there's your A1 right there. Everyone returning to the A in that side of the spectrum is a return. So then we go to the A2 graphic. Sweet Home, North Tonawanda, Hamburg, Williamsville East, Star Point and Grand Island are your teams that will represent the A2 division.
All right. Now we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with more. You're watching the Western New York Athletics High School Football Preview Show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn.
You're watching another live stream production by 300 Level Media, LLC. 300 Level Media can highlight your business by incorporating commercials, live reads, and corporate logos throughout our WNY Athletics events. WNY Athletics is the premier high school sports streaming service in New York State, covering regular season contests through the state championships and everything in between, with over 1 million views annually. If you are interested in advertising with any of our platforms, please visit our Become a Sponsor page at WNYathletics.com. Stay up to date on the latest scores across Western New York by visiting WNYathletics.com and use our interactive scoreboard for the latest across Section 6 and Monsignor Martin Association events.
Welcome back to Western New York Athletics High School Football Preview Show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn. We're previewing the A class for Section 6 here, and we have some interesting teams to highlight. So I think we're going to start with Tom.
Yeah, so we're going to run through the conference and a little bit of what to expect or what to see from each team here right there. So we're going to start with Clarence to kick things off. Coach Paul Bergio, what a class act this man is. I mean, this is a coach I seek out when I get to a field because I just enjoy my conversations with him. Just a great guy right here. He was 7-3 in 2021, 6-4 last year. He's expecting 4 key returners on the offense, 4 key returners on the defense. His key returning players will be Hayden Harrison, Jeff Long, Bryce Hawes, Jake Mattoon, and Cole Brinkerhoff will be his returning players. He is going to be young. A slew of new players that are going to be ones to watch out for. Bryce Tubin, David Van Horn, Patrick Wind, Riley Lincoln, Mike McCarthy, Joe Crystal, Talon Engesser, Ivan Puslowski, Caius Mattoon, A.J. Ditas, Chris Barron, Nate Ray, Owen Grachola, Brody Kaufman, Nico Christopher. That's the new players, guys, right there. He's young. Clarence is young this year. You can see that absolutely right here. Now we're going to go to the Lockport Lions, coached by Trait Smith. 2020, they were 3-2. 2021, they were 4-5. In 2022, they were 4-5 again. They are also expecting 4 key returners on the offense and 4 key returners on the defense. Key returning players will be Shea Williams, Tristan Grimball, Trey Thompson, and Chase Diviak. And then your key new players to watch out for are Jaquan Davis, Graham Schultz, and Devontae Pietraconi are your key players right there for Lockport. Niagara Wheatfield, as we know, trying to rebuild everything up there is Coach O'Brien. As you remember, he took over just recently as the head coach in Niagara Wheatfield. He's been the basketball head coach. He was 3-7 this past year. But listen to this, guys. 8 returning members on offense, 9 returning members on defense that he's got coming back. He's got a key pivotal player in Sean Watson, the all-time receptions leader. The only difference that Sean Watson's going to be missing is that quarterback to throw the ball to him, as we know, right? But the key returning player, Sean Watson, we just said, to Sean Matthews, the running back, the quarterback, the linebacker, Dylan Pringle, the running back linebacker, Christian Turner, the offensive tackle linebacker, Tristan Fox, the offensive tackle, defensive tackle, Adam Kyler, the wide receiver cornerback, Jason Cirillo, the wide receiver cornerback, and Michael Sheska, who will be the biggest key players returning. The new players now, that Sheka, who I just talked about, he was a defensive end injured last year. He actually never played. So even though he is a key returning player to the team, he will be somebody we don't know and will be able to make that impact out there. And Mason Messner, the fullback linebacker, and Tim Hazley, the offensive guard, defensive end. The kid we're going to be talking about who's going to be a big name is Sean Watson. He's getting a lot of looks this year, 3.75 GPA, doing it in the classroom. We've also talked to him on the basketball court before. He's a key pivotal player on multiple sports for them up at Niagara-Wheatfield. So now we're going to go to Williamsville North. Our record last year was 7-4 last year. Before that, they were 4-5, then 0-4. They were returning 5 key members of the offensive, 3 members of the defensive. DJ Leonard, Rocco Urbanziak, Noah Sturheim, Brad Schneider, Jacob Lozo, Matt McKenna, and Ben Hansen are your key returning players out there. AJ Weisenberg, Dakari Norman, Caden Donovan, Jamari Reimers, and Henry Emin are your returning players. For Ken West, Coach John Haynes, to me, probably most known for his pre-game, especially when it comes to Ken West. I'm going to tell you, we're going to put that video back out. Stu, have you ever seen this video?
No, I haven't.
Tim, you ever see this? Francis, I know you have, right? Tim, have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
Is this like a pregame speech?
Oh, no, this is pregame everything. He's got the blue Gatorade for the Kenmore East, and he's got the dog bones, and he's got the dog bones
hot dog.
And going it all, and he's doing it all at the same time. It's a great video, I'm telling you. And I'll tell you, there's not a kid that doesn't get hyped. Like, I love, you know me, I love all that hype stuff, right? So, Johnny, you know I love you. You know I love when you do those things. Fantastic. He was 7-3 last year, 6 members returned from the offense, 5 from the defense. Reed Lesmeister is one of his key returning players. He's been big for multiple years. He's been big on the baseball team for multiple years. Here is the kid that everyone better look out for. Yep. I'm telling you, he should be a Trench Trophy finalist. It is Hez Mercado.
Huge.
Right there, he is a big player. And I'll tell you, Francis, remember last year when you and I went to every single one of the coaches, we asked them, who were your top linemen and who were the 2 that you faced? Mercado came up almost every single opponent they faced as a top player. He is going to be somebody to watch out for. Nate Harrington, Evan Cispara, Deontay Rogers, Jackson Amand, Dakota Cochran, Max Tallchief, Jack Foote, Mike Green, Isaac Chilunugu, Isaac Cabana, Jacob Hawkins, and Zaire Mobley are your returning players. The new player to watch out for Kenmore West is Jack Johnson. Then we're going to go to West Seneca West and their new name, the Warhawks. Remember that. So they will be the Warhawks this year down in West Seneca. It'll be something new as Mike Vistola comes back. 6-3 last year. 7 players returning on the offensive line, 7 players returning on the defensive line. This team is dangerous, I'll tell you that. Cam Whitaker, one of the top returning players, the right tackle, defensive tackle. Ray Kwazanewski, the wide receiver safety. Cody Kester, the left tackle, defensive lineman. Pat Owen, the offensive lineman, nose tackle. Caden Stupik, the quarterback. Braden Freeman, the running back linebacker. Dustin Thompson, the running back linebacker. Jerry Dadsey, the wide receiver. Joey Joyner, the defensive end. And Devon Beard, the linebacker. And Joey Panville, the offensive guard. Key new players. Well, I want you to hear the name. Oliver Dana, cornerback wide receiver. We know why that's a big one.
Craig Dana?
Craig Dana's son, right there from Orchard Park. Max McFall, tight end. Jared Freeman, safety. Braden Snyder, center. Braden Griffey, kicker, punter. And Eddie Gauthier, the wide receiver from St. Francis, coming back to West Seneca. Listen, this is a veteran team that brings back tons of, as you see, players that have gotten experience, right? Remember, this team made the playoffs. This team was dangerous last year. They squeaked into the very end, remember? And then they really were somebody to watch out for that we knew we didn't know what to expect from this team. They are something that we're going to watch out for this year. Brings back a ton right here. And I love the way they're starting their season off. They started off against AA Section 3 champion Cicero North Syracuse that we know Bennett knows very well, right? So love that. Then the last one right here for A1 of the McKinley Max with Coach Brian Davis. They were 7-2 last year, 6-4, 0-5. They returned 8 players on the offense, 6 players on the defense to a team that won their division last year. If you remember, they bring back key, pivotal running back Tyrone Hughes, that we know could easily be somebody we're going to be talking about as a Conley Cup finalist at the same time. Brandon Liggins, Carl Jones, Darian Burt, Tashawn Anderson, Ronnie White, Limmy Bates Johnson, Daryl Means Jr., Nigel McDuffie, Mearson Felder, Eric Abernathy are your key returning players. Your key new players, Jameer Hemphill, Cardell Staples, and David Graves are your new ones right there. There's your A1. Remember, there'll be 4 that will come out of A1 and 4 that will come out of A2 for the playoffs.
And who's got the A2?
I think Tom's going to do that too.
Are you coming back? Well, all right.
Yeah.
Take a quick break. You're watching Western New York Athletics High School Football Preview Show. A2 is next. We're coming to you from the Big Tree Inn. We'll be back after this short break.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
You're watching another live stream production by 300 Level Media LLC. 300 Level Media can highlight your business by incorporating commercials, live reads, and corporate logos throughout our WNY Athletics events. WNY Athletics is the premier high school sports streaming service in New York State, covering regular season contests through the state championships and everything in between, with over 1 million views annually. If you are interested in advertising with any of our platforms, please visit our Become a Sponsor page at WNYathletics.com.
Welcome back to the Western New York Athletics High School Football Preview Show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn. We're going to go back to Tom Prince, and he's going to tell us about the other side, or the A2 part of the A bracket. So take
the
it
other
away,
side,
Tom.
we
Yeah,
can say that,
half.
right? Yeah, you know. So we're going to start up at Grand Island. Dean Santorio, top coach in the area. I'll tell you, I know they had a rough year, 3-7 last year, but this is a team I never count out. They are always a team that seems to get to the playoffs and make something happen within those playoffs. Last year, 3-7. The year before that, 7-2. The year before that, 4-2. There are 5 returning players on the offense, 5 returning players on the defense. Doug Crowley, Braden Willits, Elijah Leinfulser, Jacob Joseph, and Dominic Nucci are your key returning players. Nick Corte, Matthew Martin, John Neville, Michael Soul, and Anthony Vaccaro will be your new players to watch out for. I think what Coach is excited about, this is one of those key years where you're going to count on your youth, but you got some core there that's come back that he thinks it's that nice blend that may, those are the kind of teams to me that may not start off well because of the youth that's there, but watch out. They get dangerous every week as the season comes on. We're going to go to the Hamburg Bulldogs right now. Jeff Tripp is your coach. They're 7-3 in 2021, 5-4 last year. They had 5 returners on offense, 4 on defense. The key returning players are Dylan Hart, Josh Moore, Andrew Parker, Zach Germone, Caden Bailey, Kyle Jasloka, Adam Perez, Jameen Robinson, and Derek Crowley. Your key new players to watch out for will be Bryce Terry, Jimmy Steffen, Nate Jascola, Ryder Batshold, Jack Brown, and Jonah Moscato. Key name on that one right there. One of the key new players, Jimmy Steffen right there. Interesting name that you'll see is, and for those of you who don't know, Dad is actually one of the coaches over on the Frontier side of the spectrum, right? So, boy, that key game that comes up, Frontier Hamburg, this could really get interesting.
Yeah.
Could be a fun one right there to see. Looking out for you there, guys. The next team we're actually going to go to will be the North Tonawanda Lumberjacks. Ben Bunker is the coach right there. They were 1-9 last year, 2-7 the year before that, 3-3. They're going to 4 offensive starters, 5 excuse me. I apologize. And key returning players, Christian Ernst, the running back, defensive back, Matt Grinnell, the fullback, defensive end, Jamari Baker, wide receiver, running back, defensive back, and Eden Harrington, the offensive lineman, a linebacker. Key new players to look out for. That'll be Preston Manzari, Mitchell Saida, Jaden Miller, Jacob Smith, Aiden Haran, who actually sat out last year with an injury. Junior offensive lineman, 6'4", 270. That's a key pivotal piece right there that you don't have, right?
Yes.
So, like I said, I think you're going to see this North Tonawanda team get back to the basics. We're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball down your throat and try
Triple
to do it
option.
behind the big line, right? You know, you're going to see come back, do a little old school right here.
Yeah,
You're gonna see
triple
North
option. They were very famous for doing that. They took it to the state championship, right?
Yeah, whatever works, right?
So we're going to go to Star Point now with Coach Tim Racy. They were 6-3 this year, 6-3 last year, or 6-3 last year, 6-3 the year before that, and the year before that they were 0-5. 4 key offensive starters coming back, 4 defensive starters. Derek Neppel, Kyler Lee, Lucas Lombardo, Jake Stickney, AJ Anselm, Joe Richardson, Billy Bitchler, and Zach Zenkinger are your key returning players. Mike Grady, Jaimo Clark, Lucas Clark, Brody Saunders, Frank Butia, Mike Mikulski, and Trent Ostrowski will be your key new players to watch out for. Unfortunately, the loss here for Star Point is going to be at the quarterback position, where they had, last year, all-league quarterback Gage LaPlante will not be coming back to play football. So they'll lose a key pivotal piece that they've got to figure out how to go ahead and replace. And then we've got Williamsville East right here. Mike Torillo, the head coach. 5 returning offensive starters, 6 returning defensive starters. His key players, Calvin Kulik, Thomas Orinsini, Charles Smith, Zaid El Nassar, Andrew Vinaukar, Drew Eckerd, Reed Kokia, Nofir Ramadan, Connor Greeley, and Ryan McKinnon are your key returning player or key new players to watch out for. This is a team that is very well balanced, a lot of key members. This is a team I think you're going to get excited for. The key player we're going to look at here is the replacement at the quarterback position, right? And but I think these guys are going to be really solid in a team to really watch out for in this division. And then Sweet Home, Jeremy Zimmer, your head coach. 2020 they were 3-2. 2021 they were 6-2. Last year they were 2-6. They have 5 offensive starters, 6 defense. Offense brings back quarterback Rocco Penapento, wide receiver Zion Lee. Wide receiver Stephen Butler, offensive lineman Aiden Janda, defensive lineman Janda, linebacker Nakir Kirkland, linebacker John Jones, linebacker Andrew Hogg, defensive back Akeem Williams, defensive back Stephen Butler, and defensive back Kenny Owens will be your key returning players. Your new ones are offensive lineman Jordan Payne, offensive lineman Marquise Mack, running back Daquan Stone, defensive lineman Jalik Mellerson, defensive back Quentin Wilhelm, and defensive back Quentin Hood are your key new players. They just sent 5 graduates off to play college football. The biggest one, Jordan Theodore, is going to play at St. Francis University, and that's a big shoes to fill right there. But right there, that's the end of your A2 right there teams.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with predictions for A. You're watching the Western New York Athletics High School Football Preview Show for Class A, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn, and we'll be back right after this short break.
You're watching another live stream production by 300 Level Media, LLC. 300 Level Media can highlight your business by incorporating commercials, live reads, and corporate logos throughout our WNY Athletics events. WNY Athletics is the premier high school sports streaming service in New York State. covering regular season contests through the state championships and everything in between, with over 1 million views annually. If you are interested in advertising with any of our platforms, please visit our Become a Sponsor page at WNYathletics.com.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
Or an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back to our Western New York Athletics High School Football Class A preview show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn. And now we get to make predictions, and since I'm first, I'm going to go first again. And I'm going to take West Seneca West on the strength of all those guys coming back across both lines of scrimmage. That makes the life of skill players a lot easier. That's experience, and it's depth, and it's hard to play against that. So I'll go with West Seneca West, who are now known as the Warhawks. So that's my pick.
I think I'm going to go with the team with the best player, and that's McKinley, and it's Tyrone Hughes, and that's McKinley. I've been talking about this kid Hughes since he was a freshman. He's been a starter for that Max team. They also bring back Rashawn Riley. This McKinley team has a lot of talent. You look at them, and it looks like they're kind of in Coach Davis is kind of in the infant stages of building of what McKinley had, maybe 5-6 years ago. And I think if he sticks to that program, keep in mind Coach Davis is the nephew of Coach McDuffie, so he knows what the blueprint is. And, they bring back a lot of key pieces, Rashawn Riley, Tyrone Hughes, and guys in the line. They do have to replace their quarterback, but if they get that taken care of, I think you look at this team, they bring back a lot of key pieces. I feel like it should be their division, should be their conference, because we have to be honest, a lot of these teams, as much as they're bringing back, they lose a lot of key pieces around here. But keep in mind, I will say this, I'm hearing a lot of really good things about Williams Elise, their new quarterback coming in, Ryan McKinnon. He won, I believe, the cross-training spring tournament they had. So I'm hearing a lot of really good things about him. I think Willis is going to be good. But right now, I think it's McKinley has the best pieces coming back.
Before my prediction, I wanted to mention something. I talked to Casey Kaz, who runs the 7-on-7 passing leagues, and I asked him about some of the upcoming quarterbacks that he noticed, and one of the first name, actually the first name he mentioned, was Bryce Tubin from Clarence, who it would be his first time starting, but he said he loves his size, he moves very well, and he's got a big arm. So that's someone you mentioned right in the beginning of your of the show, Bryce Tubin. That's someone to watch. So I also am going to take who I think is the best player in this league, and I'm going to take Kenmore West because I think that Hez Mercado is the best player in this league. He is a dominant lineman. They also beat McKinley in the playoffs last year. So I think Kenmore West will take this division this year.
Wow. So I think there's a different question to be asked. Okay? You got 7 teams in this A1. Who are the 4 teams that are actually going to make the playoffs?
That's a great question. Yep. You've done it again.
Right? Because you got McKinley, which you got 1 vote here is going to win. I got a vote over here for West Seneca that was going to win, right? I got a vote for Ken West that was going to win. So you've already told me 3 of the spots that are in. You still got Will North out there, and you still got Clarence out there, yep. And you got an upcoming Niagara Wheatfield team that are returning 17 players. And then Lockport is always dangerous, right. Especially when you put wide receivers because it's like a wide receiver factory out there, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that really is the question to me right now is who's going to be the team that's going to be out?
Yep.
Right? And that is going to be very interesting. I will tell you, I think right now with the returning players that you're going to see out there, I believe this is a battle between West Seneca West and McKinley. I agree with you on the Ken West thing, but they also lost a key player that was out there that we know.
Yeah.
That was really an entire offense at some times for Ken West, and that was Atkins that we knew that was out there, right? And he did it from both the defensive side of the ball, and I want to see that replacement come into play too. So not that I don't think Ken West is in there, because I do believe that they're in the mix, but this will be very interesting inside this division. And then the A2s, I think right now the leader in the clubhouse, I agree. Will East is my leader in the clubhouse for that one. But I'm going to tell you guys, if this Sweet Home team comes together like they did early on in the year, that's a dangerous team to watch out for. And you again have a sophomore quarterback that's going to come now into the junior year right here. I like what he can. The kid can throw the ball, and it's something that you can see. They've starting to play in some games and really react in some big games. I already said it. Do not count on Grand Island in anything, right? I'll take Coach Santoro, all the time. We know how good he is.
No one wants to see them in the dog days.
No, I don't want to see them in the playoffs because I already know how tough of a game it's going to be.
But going back to Sweet Home, Aiden Janda coming back in the line. In fact, at that cross-training, the combine that was had, one of the best battles was Mercado going against Janda. 4 or 5 times. They had some of the best battles down there, and they're not going to be in the same division. I'm not sure if they're going to play against their non-league, but those are easily the two best.
But you could cross over for the playoffs.
Yeah, you could cross over for the playoffs.
So I mean, it's something that you could see. But I like this Sweet Home team, and again, it needs to see how they gel and come together a little bit. And I want to see how that line works, because that line was a strength last year.
Yep. I want to see Sweet Home put it together for the whole season too. Sweet Home has a tendency of starting really good, and then they kind of falter. We had some injuries last year, obviously, but again, a lot of parity in these two divisions for sure. I don't think there's one dominant team. We all pick someone different, so it's anybody's league.
Like I said, to me, it could fall down to what team's going to be out, because it's going to be a tough top 4 to even get in, right?
Or we go back to what kind of happened last year. Who's going to be the healthiest?
Yeah.
Always.
That's the reason why Sweet Home, we saw the fall off right there, right? There's a lot of teams that said that were key in Will East.
Yeah.
Like if Sandstone doesn't go down in, week 4 or 5, they probably win that division, and those playoff brackets look a lot different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you pick one team, Tom?
Yeah, he never actually picked.
Okay. For the I right now, I like West Seneca West right now for the A1. What I had picked were the 2 teams, and that was, I said I thought McKinley and West Seneca West. And then I did say Will East for
yes,
A2.
you did.
Yep.
You
so what I thought Sweet Home, was the next one that was right there.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our Western New York Athletics Class A high school football preview show, coming to you from the Big Tree Inn in Orchard Park. For Tom Prince, Tim Chifa, Francis Beck, and Tim Gardner, I'm Stu Boyer. Thank you for watching, and have a good night, everybody.